Good afternoon, everyone. This is Melanie Karam over at AgentLink. Thank you so much for hopping on today. I'm going to give everybody just a few more seconds to finish logging in, but we will get started right away here because we appreciate your all's time. So we'll give everybody just a few more seconds and then we'll get this started. Thanks. Alrighty, well, we can go ahead and get started with introductions and let the stragglers kind of join in as they may. Again, this is Melanie Karam over at AgentLink. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are happy to have Liz and Micah with Angle Health with us today to give us a little overview of the really cool platform that they have. A couple housekeeping things though, they cannot see the questions as they come in for you guys. So feel free to type away as you guys have questions throughout the presentation. If they've got a good spot to stop and ask for questions, they will do that, or we will address them all at the end. But I promise we will definitely address all of your questions before the end of the day. So with that, Liz and Micah, you are welcome to get started whenever you like. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to be here. I'll just say a quick hello and let Micah do the same. So my name is Liz Wilson. I am the VP of Sales for the Midwest Territory for Angle Health. I have been with the company a little over a year, joyfully joined in 2024 after I connected with Angle Health and thought, oh my goodness, I think this company is really going to make some significant impact in our industry. And having been in the space for a little over 10 years, formerly an executive director of sales for a national TPA, I was ready to see some change and not the change that blows up a year later. So very excited to get to introduce Angle Health to each of you. I hope to have an opportunity to collaborate with you. Certainly here to answer questions as well. And Micah, I'll let you say hi before we get started too.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz. My name is Micah Flegel. I am the benefits consultant here for Angle Health in the Ohio Valley region. So I handle multiple territories, Ohio being where I'm located. I'm here in Columbus, Ohio. I also handle Michigan and West Virginia. So for those brokers that are in Ohio, we will be your kind of main points of contact. I joined Angle Health a little over a year ago as well, alongside Liz. We were kind of the two to kind of get boots on the ground here in the Midwest region. And our goal is to really spread the word of Angle and get people kind of more excited about the level funded opportunity that we're presenting to the market. So I'll push it back to you, Liz, and then, we'll just go through this presentation for you guys. And obviously, like Melanie said, if questions do come up, feel free to type them. I'm sure we'll stop for questions. If not, certainly answer them at the end of the presentation.
Perfect. Yes, and I think Micah made a good point that I'm going to kind of get started here, but many of you may not have heard of Angle Health yet, and that would not surprise us. Even though we've been around for about 6 years, we were domiciled in 2019, started selling our level funded solution in 2021. We actually started on the East Coast. That's where a lot of our initial leadership was located, so it just made practical sense, right? So if you were a broker in Georgia, let's say, or even an employer in Georgia, you've probably heard about Angle Health by now, most definitely. We have probably almost 15,000 members in Georgia alone by now. We're very strong in Florida and the Carolinas. Then we moved on to the West Coast and launched with boots on the ground and a team there. So Texas, Arizona, very strong. And then it wasn't until last year that we hired, our team in the Midwest to really start kind of being boots on the ground for this territory. So while we seem new, we're not brand new. So a lot of what we're going to talk through today, this isn't like wishful thinking, right? Like this is happening and it's working. And we've got the data of years of success now behind us, kind of illustrating that. But the other good news for all of us is that it's new enough to our territory that you are bringing something new to your clients and prospects that they're waiting for. So the market's not saturated. You still have this great opportunity to be at the forefront of sharing about Angle Health with your employer partners. And that's the goal. So starting from this slide here, right? Angle for Better. We are a partner for the modern broker, an ally for the modern employer, and benefits for the modern employee. On the next slide, and thank you, Micah's kind of managing the deck for us. So if I cue him up a couple times, understand why. I always highlight in this presentation how we are a tech-forward organization. And I don't say that, to be intimidating or anything. I mean, I'm not a very tech-savvy individual myself, but I do acknowledge that because technology is changing industries around the globe for the better in a lot of significant ways. And health insurance and healthcare is certainly one of them. So one of the ways that we are utilizing technology is AI. So we are using AI in so many different areas of our business. Great examples, fraud and detection prevention, personalized health plans, claims processing, predictive analytics, customer service, and virtual health. So it's just kind of a quick example of, because of technology, we are able to level up together how accurate, efficient, sustainable, affordable our services and offering can be. And we, little backstory on Angle Health. So like I said, domiciled in 2019, we were founded by two software engineers of all things, right? Not two veteran health insurance industry individuals. These were two individuals who actually grew up and had a very personal experience as young men with our country's health insurance and healthcare system. So sons of immigrant families, their parents, blue collar workers, had access to health insurance through their employment, which is a big deal, right? Like that is a huge win. The disconnect came when those parents, while they had access to health insurance through their employment, they couldn't actually afford their health care. So they had some chronic conditions and were prescribed, medications that cost like $1,200 a month. So if you can imagine, they're sitting down, debating as a family, like, well, okay, do we feed our family dinner or do we go get this prescription filled? I think we all know what they chose, and it was to the detriment of their overall health and the family's well-being. So these two young men go on through school. They are software engineers, very skilled, brilliant, working for Palantir that does major government contract work. And lo and behold, they are put on assignment with some of the kind of data elements of those BUCA platforms. And they're thinking, my God, like this is so outdated and antiquated. Nothing speaks to each other. Like, how is this the gold standard? They're like, we could do this better. Aha, and an idea is born, right? I wouldn't wake up this morning and think I'm going to take on the American health insurance system, but leave it to two individuals not in this space to think they could do it better, and they were committed to doing so. So here we are today. Angle Health, we're kind of coining the term purple is the new blue. The BUCAs being what historically has been considered the gold standard. But I think we can all acknowledge, the industry is ready for something different. Our clients are desperately looking for something different, but the BUCA is kind of what they know. So it's kind of this dichotomy of they want something better, but they're scared to leave the familiar. Okay, so that's where Angle Health comes in. We are all the familiarity of a BUCA with the flexibility, far enhanced transparency, and performance of level funding. So as an organization, something important to note, so we are the risk taker and the claims payer, acting as the TPA, the MGU, and the carrier. So everything is in one place with Angle Health, which makes us extremely fast, very flexible. And our focus is in removing the burden of procuring, managing, and accessing employer-sponsored healthcare, doing it all with our AI-enabled full stack platform. And I always acknowledge, aligning with the best. I want to make sure you all know, we're not a flash in the pan company. Again, we've been around since 2019. We're underwritten on A+ rated paper. So we are, our stop loss is Companion Life and Old Republic, both A+ rated. Our excess is insured by RGA, also A+ rated. I put on this slide, we've been featured in a variety of publications, and I always encourage anyone listening to this presentation to follow us on LinkedIn. We're constantly sharing awards we're receiving or articles that we've been featured in, or even leadership if they're speaking somewhere, etc. We are sharing information so that you can continue to deepen your knowledge of Angle Health and who we are and what we're doing. And we are backed by some of the strongest venture capital in the country. So companies like Proven and Y Combinator, right? These are some of the VC behind, the most successful tech-based companies in the world. So think of a DoorDash, or, I tend to think of Angle Health somewhat like a Netflix or an Uber, right? I didn't have a problem when I was, 15 years old, going to Blockbuster and getting a movie, renting it for 2 days, driving it home, driving it back. Like, that was kind of fun, right? But now technology has forever changed that industry, because you know what? It's really convenient when there's a blizzard outside and you can just sit down on your couch and download whatever movie you want to watch in 10 seconds. So similarly, we are using technology to elevate the experience we're all having in the health insurance and healthcare space, and it's working. So I'm going to kick it over to Micah for a second to talk a little bit with you about our options for quoting with Angle Health, and one of our kind of self-service tools that it just continues to be, flexible. We want to be flexible for you to partner with us in the way that's most comfortable and convenient for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Liz. So definitely want to talk to you guys a little bit about why we're simple to use, what makes us very frictionless, and that's our quote to card API. So what we have access to is what we call Benefit Builder. This is a place that you are able to go and upload a member level census with dependents, add current and renewal rates, and receive firm underwritten rates many times in minutes. This is something that is very unique to Angle Health. I know our partners at AgentLink use this to quote themselves and quote your groups as well. So if you are working through them, they're happy to do this for you. They have access to this, but we can also get you access to our Benefit Builder platform. Kind of touching on what Liz said about optionality. The beauty about Angle Health is we're not a standard, here are the plans, does your client fit what we have to offer? We want to provide you options to give to your clients. So it starts with the network. We have access to various different networks and regional and direct contracts. Right now, we are leading with the Cigna PPO network and the Aetna ASA Signature Administrators Network. We also have access to First Health, and in various markets, we do have access to direct contracts such as Nomi Health, which I think will soon be coming to the Ohio market and expanding through some major MSAs in the next 12 months. You have access to multiple different PBMs. 99% of our clients are on what we call Angle RX. This is a white label of Surpass RX. But if you have clients that currently use Magellan or Capital RX, you can quote those as well on our platform. You have the ability to customize your cost shares. So if you wanted a $1,314 deductible, we can build you a plan with that and install that plan. You can customize the co-insurance and co-pays, out-of-pocket maximums, different points that you're able to customize within our Benefit Builder platform, or you can come to us and let us know what you need and we can build that plan for you. We have different point solutions such as doctors on demand, physician-led advocacy, which I believe Liz will kind of get into in a little bit, and different other point solutions as well. Added benefits such as FSA, HSA, and COBRA. We do not administer any of these. We have a loose partnership with Health Equity, but a group can use whichever administrator they would like when it comes to handling those added benefits. I'll touch here quickly on kind of the states we're in. This needs to be updated a little bit, but as you can see, we are pretty much, covering the country coast to coast. One thing you'll note, and that I want to note for you, is that we are not in California or New York or Massachusetts. and probably won't be anytime soon. As you can imagine, there's a lot of red tape in those states, and we are comfortable in the states that we're in right now, and we're going to kind of leave it at that for the time being. So we quote down to 2 employee lives in most states with 5 belly buttons enrolling. So what that means for you is if you have 2 employees with a mix of dependents, we can quote in any of these states. I do also want to note on the California and New York piece, you can have members and employees that do live in those states, just the company cannot be domiciled in those states. We do have many different state requirements. North Carolina needs 20 eligible. Florida needs 10 enrolled. Nevada also needs 10 enrolled, and so does Colorado. So for quoting Angle Health, we're very easy to quote. Like I said, all we need is a member level census, current renewal rates, and we can have a quote back to you in a matter of minutes. And if you're quoting through us, through me directly or Liz, we will have that back to you in probably 48 hours or so.
Wonderful. So I will share a little bit about what the plan is designed to be. I'm going to start first on the right side of this screen. What we do not need, we are waiving the participation requirement, which is excellent, right? So if you've got a group of 100 and only 20 enrolling, does not matter to us. We simply want to know who the enrolling members are in any group. We will underwrite that population. So we go down to write the 2 W-2 employees or 5 members up to, really, we do not have a cap. So our largest client has about 3,000 eligible and 800 enrolled. Another example, again, right? We do not have a participation requirement. We're not going to ask for waivers. We're not going to ask for health applications either, or do nurse phone calls. As I talked about, this is a tech-forward organization, so those are very kind of archaic processes. We now use our technology, our precision risk scoring methodology, to get to a very granular level in assessing the risk of a population. We can see, high-cost conditions, high-cost medications. We're not here to judge, but I mean, we can see what people are eating for breakfast, or whether or not they're smoking a pack of cigarettes on the way to work. Doesn't matter, other than it can be indicative of potential future risk. So just something to note, we are making it a lot easier. I come from a background of health applications, and I really never want to see another one again. So please do not send them to us. We do not need them. We do not want them. We do say yes to a variety of things as well, such as 1099s. So if you have one W-2 employee on a plan, and we're happy to write their 1099s as well. PEO extractions we're very good at as well. We will write virgin groups and association plans. Navigating the numbers, kind of focusing on the left side of the screen here, our surplus refund is 0 to 10%. So a little different. A lot of TPAs, for years have been waving that 50% or 0% surplus return flag. I get it. It sounded good back in the day, but philosophically, Angle's stance is we do not want to take a high interest loan from a small and medium-sized business just to be like, hey, guess what? Here's some money back later. We would much rather they keep their cash and infuse it in other areas of their organization. And here's how we're doing that. With our precision risk scoring underwriting, we're providing fair, accurate rates up front. We're helping the plan to run well through engagement with members directly. And we'll get into that in a couple more slides. But so because of our underwriting methodology and our engagement, we're hoping to hit the nail on the head with our rates up front, help the plan to run well, and provide a single-digit renewal. And we have been averaging single-digit renewals for a couple of years now. Our 1/1/24 average renewal was 4.9. Our 1/1/25 average renewal was just about 6. So what we're doing is working, and I'm pretty sure any of your clients would agree they would much rather have affordable rates and a single-digit renewal than the possibility of getting money back later that they basically were just overpaying in the first place. So that's our stance on surplus. Attachment point, 100%. Most of our plans are ag only. Specific deductible, usually about 0 to 10K. Our contract terms are all 12/24. And again, network, you've got options, that Cigna PPO, Aetna PPO, and the variety of regional and high performance direct contracts, as well as the PBM options, leading with Angle RX. And then kind of pulling that through just an extra step, because legacy level funded thinking includes all the variables, having to educate your client about spec and ag and attachment points and ISL limits, and to a small to medium sized business, potentially who's only been on a fully insured plan in the past, that sounds very intimidating. So we've built our level funded product to look, feel, smell, and taste like a fully insured equivalent. The max liability for that employer are those quoted premiums. So you don't have to get into the weeds of all this education, because the ISL limits, the ag attachment point, those are non-adjustable and they do not impact rates. Everything is built into the back end of an Angle. So I reference all of that because it's important to know we're trying to make it very, very simple, but of course we do comply with all state-specific stop-loss rules and regulations. And then Micah, I'll let you kind of walk through our fabulous health scorecard, which is a total game changer in the space, and we're thrilled to share it with each of you.
Yes, this is awesome. Thanks, Liz. So this came about probably about a year ago, around this time last year. So what we've decided to do, and I don't think we've discussed this yet, Angle Health is going to be competitive on a group probably 25 to 35% of the time. We are looking to be profitable in the first year of business with the group. And in doing so, we do have a little bit of a higher decline rate. So instead of just shipping back to you, hey, this is a DTQ, there's no more information we can share. On the idea of transparency and what Angle Health really believes in is you guys should have access to the same data that we do. And this is where the health scorecard comes into play. We're going to show you everything that we see during underwriting that leads to either the decline or the competitive proposal. So as you can kind of see here, based off the census that you guys have provided us, we are going to give you the census analysis, right? Up in the left corner, you'll see we quoted 13 people, census ratio, match rate. This match rate is how many people we were able to identify on the member level census using our AI data sources. Age distribution, tier distribution, gender. We'll show you where the various members are located throughout the country. A lot of groups that we bring on, I mean, there's people in various different states, so it just kind of gives a good visual of where people are located based off those zip codes that we pull from the census. As you move over to the right side of the screen, we're going to give you a graph of where we place risk. So if you look at that bar graph up top, we are placing members into risk bins is what we call them, bins 1 through 10. Bins 8 through 10 being the higher risk bins, and obviously 1 through, I would say, really 5 are kind of our low risk bins. This is where we are assessing the risk and where we are going to really kind of decide whether or not this is a group maybe fit for Angle Health this coming year or not. As you move down the screen, we are going to show you what we expect the claims to be. By no means is this an exact science. We are not intending to hit the nail on the head. Obviously, that would be great. But we do see this align a lot of times with experience reports in different things. We are also going to show you the top 10 high cost conditions and high cost medications that we have found within the group. One thing that I do want to note while looking at these is these are conditions that have been previously diagnosed or prescriptions that have been prescribed in the past 12 months. Seeing Ozempic on here doesn't mean that there is somebody currently taking Ozempic necessarily. It could, but we are giving you a relative sort of look into the past 12 months and the information that we were able to pull. So for you guys in what you guys do on the day-to-day, this is an amazing prospecting tool. This is an amazing tool for you to communicate with your clients, maybe why they are receiving a 30% renewal, right? You know, I think you guys experience it a lot. Your clients look for you for guidance, right? And when you have no information to share as to why they're getting a 40%, 30%, 25% renewal, this can really come in handy in being, taking that consultative approach with your clients. So this is something that, we have found very helpful. We have many agencies that quote us, really just to kind of get a glimpse into what these small groups look like. So we will produce this health scorecard on every proposal as long as there are 10 on the plan. That's kind of our requirement. Anything under 10, we will not release a health scorecard. It would just be, a decline or a competitive proposal. Want to add anything, Liz?
No, I think, well, yeah, like you did a great job covering this. I think this is such a testament to our effort to enhance transparency in this industry, right? I think for years we've had carriers kind of holding everything behind a curtain, and you have current clients who are getting renewals that they don't even understand the why behind those rates. The fact Angle is offering to share this information with you upfront, regardless of if we even have a competitive quote to share with you. It's our effort to both, let's all access data together so that we can truly help these groups find the right home, and have a plan that makes sense for them. And it is also our thank you to you for allowing us to quote every group you've got. I mean, especially if it's in that kind of 5 to 150 space, send it over to us. We will, underwrite it for you. If we're competitive, terrific. If we're not, still terrific, because at least you're getting this data to help you navigate what's going to be the best path forward. So I love it. I love that we're doing this. Like I said, there's a few pillars of what Angle is focused on: flexibility, transparency, engagement being key. Yeah, we'll continue on and kind of talk about a little bit of kind of pulling this all through. So once you have a sold group, we're going to implement the group. Everything's going to be in Homebase, which is our unified platform for you to manage all your employer-sponsored health plans sold with Angle Health, integrated with tools for you to easily access the information that you want, leverages connectological data to seamlessly connect all of Angle's solutions, and features user-centered design so it's easy to navigate. And I know that all of this is true. If I can run a quote in our system, if I can navigate Homebase, trust me, anybody can. And we're easy to implement. So using technology again, right? Our implementation process takes about 72 hours start to finish, primarily digital using DocuSign. And then, we can integrate with about any Ben admin system, payroll platform, uses AI and machine learning. You can log in and track everything about the plan, where the claims dollars are going, etc. There are no surprises later. This isn't the situation where, oh God, the group's getting a 40% renewal and we had no idea, right? We are transparent. You have access to the information. The employer has access to the information. And quite frankly, if we see something is going on, we're going to reach out to you and we're going to create a plan to engage with members that need it the most. And we'll talk about that here in a second. But you can log in, and of course, like things like eligibility changes. You don't have to mail us documents. Like, you can do these eligibility changes in Homebase. Takes place effective in about 24 hours. We're just making things really simple. And of course, if someone is using a Ben admin system that they're asking you, oh my God, will Angle integrate with this? Like I said, we integrate with over 100 plus Ben admin systems now, but any EPI, ADI feed, we can integrate with anything. So that is not a concern. So engage. We talked about a little bit about our engagement effort with members. And would you imagine we actually created this program called Engage, which is our effort to connect with members after enrollment. So like I said, we are a partner for you, we are a partner for the employer, and we are a partner for the employee and their family. Very different. Historically, I think carriers have kind of been known as just, the name on the card when the employee goes to the doctor or kind of who pays the bill, Angle is much more engaged as a true partner in their healthcare journey. So we reach out to every member about 30 days after enrollment to introduce ourselves as their health plan partner. So initially that happens through an email. We email to introduce ourselves. We ask for permission to connect with them, whether it's through an email again or a phone call if they prefer, or maybe they'd like a text. We want to meet them where they are at, and we want to have a conversation to just let them know we're here to support them. They can call Angle Health and reach a live person anytime for support. But even more important, we want them to know, if we saw something during the underwriting process where we're like, hey, they've got a condition or a medication need that we can help source at a lower cost, we're going to talk to them about that right away. But we also acknowledge, hey, if we reach out to you 4 months from now, please accept our call. We're probably reaching out because we see a way that we can better support you. So we're kind of greasing the wheels there to make sure the connection is established. And so for you all, if we are going to reach out to the employee, you're going to hear about it because we always want to make the broker the hero, so to speak. But we also want to connect with that employee and let them know, hey, you just got prescribed a high-cost medication. We can internationally source that at no cost to you, have it delivered to your door. Or let's say we see Sue Smith is having treatments for a sore hip. Okay, that could be maybe she needs some physical therapy or some education, or she's taking a cocktail of prescriptions that don't kind of merge well and it's causing aches and pains. Or if a hip replacement is indeed kind of coming down the road here, at least we're now engaged with Sue and we can provide some steerage to help her find the best quality care at the lowest cost. So those engagement efforts, to pull through the result of that, I meet with our advocacy director every week, and he talks to me about those employees that maybe they're having trouble reaching. And so that's when we, again, connect with you all and say, hey, we might need some help. Can you reach out to the employer, let them know to kind of knock on Sue Smith's desk or something and say, Angle Health's trying to connect to be of help, please give them a call back. The amount of money being saved because of this initiative is astronomical. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially on single plans. So the effort is intentional. If you take it back to those two founders I shared about with you and that very personal story they had, a big purpose for them is to make sure that the members that we are insuring have not only access to care, but they have help making sure they are getting the care and can afford it. Because none of this matters if no one's actually getting the care that they need. So we're working really hard to make it more affordable and kind of make it more understandable to employees that this can all be really confusing. And then I'll pass by that slide. Thanks, Micah. The final kind of piece here, the prescription piece, so important. This is one of the highest cost additions to any plan, right? It's driving cost more than anything else. And we're working as hard as possible to continue to find avenues to source these medications for employees and their families at the lowest cost. So whether that's prescription assistance programs direct from pharmaceutical companies, coupons and copay cards through manufacturers, my personal favorite, international sourcing. We have a growing list of specialty medications that we are internationally sourcing from tier 1 countries such as Canada and the UK. So with this, we are, if a medication is costing $80,000, we can basically source it from, let's say, Canada for 20. We're saving the plan so considerably, and we're sharing that cost savings with the employee directly by making this free to the employee and delivered to their door. So it is truly a game changer, and we love, Micah and I, get an updated list as often as possible with that growing list of medications that are included in this process. So it's definitely a huge win for all of us. And really, I think that's kind of the primary slides that we wanted to have an opportunity to share with you, just give you a good introduction into who is Angle Health, or why haven't I heard of them yet? You know, are they legit? Are they going to be here to stay? We are, you know, everything from, we're not buying business. We're very selective on the groups we, you know, want to write. We want to keep these groups on an Angle Health plan for a long term. We are not trying to perpetuate this kind of popcorn effect where groups are just moving every year to try to get the best rates. We realize that if a group can stay put, let's say bend the 5-year cost curve. So if they stayed with Angle Health for 5 years, you've got, you know, hopefully a single-digit renewal versus even a 12% renewal that many employers would be happy with. That difference in cost savings over 5 years is really significant, not to mention the time saved as well. And then it gets really juicy when now the employees and their family members understand their benefits better because they've been on the same plan and they have a partnership with Angle Health. So that's where things get really, really juicy, and we're seeing the best outcomes, and that is our goal. So we appreciate the opportunity to talk with you about Angle Health. Definitely going to open it up for questions, but thank you for your time, everybody.
Thank you guys so much. It's always fantastic to hear about the program that you guys have. It's so unique and cutting edge, and I always enjoy learning more about it. So thank you so much for taking the time. We don't have any questions. I don't know if anybody has any, if you want to type away, but I also did record this session and I will be sending out a link to everybody today. So if you do think of any questions, I'll be happy to forward them to Liz and Micah. If I don't know the answer, because I probably don't, I'm still learning myself. But yeah, I still don't see any questions popping in. So you guys just did a fantastic job of explaining everything.
Well, we are easy to reach, and thank you so much for having us. You are awesome. And of course, yes, you know, Mike and I can always kind of answer questions later as well. Let us know how we can help. And I don't know. I appreciate everybody's time.
Thank you so much. This is an exciting partnership for Agent Link too. We love having you guys as one of our options for our agents. So again, thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too, Melanie. Thank you. Bye, Micah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.